In this video, we see degrees of elasticities of demand. When prices of different commodities change, the quantity demanded of each commodity reacts in different manner. It depends what goods we are demanding. For example, demand for medicine it responds very less to change in price as compared to electronic appliances like air conditioner or any other goods. So degrees of responsiveness of quantity demanded to a change in price may differ, and hence elasticity of demand could also differ. Price elasticity of demand can be expressed in terms of numerical value which ranges from 0 to infinity. Let's discuss here the different types. Perfectly elastic demand, perfectly inelastic demand, highly elastic demand, less elastic demand, unitary elastic demand. Here, the first one, perfectly elastic demand. When there is an infinite demand at a particular price and demand becomes zero with a slight rise in price, the demand for such a commodity is said to be perfectly elastic. So here you find the price and here quantity demanded. OQ is the original demand, and you find the demand reduces to OQ1 and increases to OQ2. So in this case, elasticity of demand is equal to infinity, and demand curve is horizontal to x-axis. If the elasticity of demand is perfectly elastic demand, then you find demand curve in a horizontal position. For example, the quantity demanded at the price of, we take goods X. If 30 rupees, then demand is 100. If 30 rupees, demand may be 200. If at 30 rupees, demand may be 300. So, the price is the same, but you find the quantity demanded changes. OQ, OQ1, OQ2 at the same price OP. So, it is perfectly elastic demand. This is an imaginary situation. Now next one, we'll go to perfectly inelastic here. When there is no change in demand, the demand OQ remains the same, but you find change in price from OP to OP1 and from OP1 to OP, that is from OP to OP2, increasing to P1 and decreasing to P2. But the same demand for the commodity remains the same. So that means it is inelastic. So you find DD, the demand curve is remaining as a straight line, vertical line to the vertical straight line parallel to y-axis. So elasticity of demand is equal to 0. So the price, whether it increases or decreases, the demand remains the same. So elasticity of demand is equal to 0. That means at 20 rupees, the cost of goods, the demand is 100. Even at 30 rupees, the demand is 100. Even at 40 rupees, the demand is 100 units. So it is perfectly inelastic. This is an imaginary situation. The next, highly elastic. When percentage change in quantity demand is more than the percentage change in price, then demand for such a commodity is said to be highly elastic. So here you find elasticity of demand is more than or greater than 1. You find in this diagram OQ is a quantity demanded at the price OP. Now the price decreases to OP1. And here you find the demand increases to OQ1, and you can see the demand is much more than, the change in demand is much more than the change in price. That is what meant by highly elastic. So elasticity of demand is greater than 1 in highly elastic demand. Example of electronic appliance, there can be air conditioner or DVD player. So they generally have, because when the price comes down, the demand will be more for such goods. The next one, less elastic demand. When percentage change in the quantity demanded is less than the percentage change in price, then demand for such a commodity is said to be less elastic or inelastic. So here you find elasticity of demand is less than 1. So you find in less elastic demand curve is steeper. Compare these two. So here this demand curve is steeper than the highly inelastic demand curve. So here you can see at price OP, you find the quantity demanded is OQ. Now the price decreases to OP1. You find the demand increases to OQ1, but you find this a less, compared to the difference between P and P1, you find this is more than the difference between Q and Q1. So that is what meant by less elastic. The price difference is more, but the difference in demand, quantity demanded is less. So less elastic. So elasticity of demand is less than 1. So commodities, example, commodities like salt, vegetables, they have less elastic demand. Because the price falls down, you cannot have it, in large stock. So you find the demand will be less only. That is what meant by less elastic. Though the price comes down at larger magnitude, but you demand less because it cannot be stored for longer time. Now next one, unitary elastic. When percentage change in the quantity demanded is equal to the percentage change in price, then demand for such a commodity is said to be, so I'll repeat, highly elastic and less elastic. Highly elastic, you find elasticity of demand is greater than 1 because the difference in price is less than difference in quantity demanded. For example, here from OP to OP1 the price comes down, but the demand is from OQ to